You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's 90210 After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's 90210 After Show.
Hey everyone, Bing us for doing, and we're here doing 90210 After Show. And unfortunately, we don't have the beautiful Nicolette here today with us, but I was able to drag two of my co-hosts from the American Idol show, guys.
Hey.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
I don't know if you needed to drag us in. I mean, 90210 has been a staple for my life, so absolutely love that you invited us. So thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, look at his fashion. I mean, he had to have watched at least a few episodes.
Yes, and
Smooth.
we're lucky today because we'll get a guy's perspective
Absolutely.
Oh, when is he coming in?
on everything. Right? So our episode today, the 5th to last. So there's 4 more episodes, but this week's episode was called A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Call Girl. Could that have been any longer?
No, it
No.
couldn't.
A lot went on in Monday night's episode this week. We're a little behind, but it's okay. We're getting it. We're
Make it
getting
happen.
there. And Naveed, he's working with Liam, trying to throw down the Cronus Society guys for cheating because they're trying to throw him down for cheating. But he only cheated to fit in with them, and, you know, I scratch your back, you scratch mine. And so Liam gave him this genius idea because he found out that they were going to write the answers on the water bottles. So knock down the water bottle, get the teacher to see it, and they got caught. So it kind of worked. But Naveed said he said, so I'm off the hook, right? And the guy's like, no, you still cheated. So what do you guys think? Should he have been off the hook because he only cheated once and these guys always cheat?
I don't think. I think he should have been off the hook. Yeah, I do. Just because, like, you know, if you take somebody's word, it is like there should be no like the fine print. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know. I think he should be off the hook.
He cheated.
Yeah.
I mean, it was wrong in the general sense. I get it because he did it for, I don't want to say strategy, but just
Right.
he had to do it. But I mean, literally, a wrong does not make a right, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And they're in college. I mean,
Oh yeah, that's right.
you know, and this guy's a guy who came from Princeton. He gave up Princeton to come back
Yeah.
and be with everybody. So he should know better. Naveed should know better. And somebody who I guess knows Naveed a little better is Michaela, who is Silver's baby mama, if you guys can follow that.
Yes, absolutely.
Baby
Love
mama.
Silver.
Silver's baby mama, Michaela, and Dixon is trying to get his feelings together and confess to Michaela that he really likes her and they've been spending a lot of time together. But when he does confess, Michaela says, sorry, I still have feelings for Naveed, who she only dated for like a minute. And then when she got pregnant with Silver's baby, he said, sorry, I don't want to date someone who's pregnant. So
That's not confusing.
I was going to ask you a quick question now. Now, Tristan, is he basically the emotional center of the show? Is he the guy who's always trying to do right, per se?
he is trying to do right, but I personally don't think he's usually doing right. Part of a season, he's really mean. He's stabbing everyone's back and going against everybody. Or when he had a record label and Adriana was on his label and she was trying to get off the label and he wouldn't let her. So he has his ups and downs, but he does have a good heart at the end of the day.
Do you think it's kind of because of his upbringing and how like that whole thing went down, or like?
No, I wouldn't say so. I mean, he tried to find his mom and then he found her and it just didn't work out. So in past seasons. So I don't think it's his upbringing. It's just, I guess, Beverly Hills probably got to him.
Yeah, again.
Yeah.
That happens.
So, yeah, with Michaela and Naveed, so hopefully we'll see if anything happens after she has the baby. Because Naveed didn't want her since she was pregnant, but Dixon didn't mind.
Right.
So is she making the right decision of not wanting to be with somebody who would love her either way, baby or not?
I think so. That's like a strong man that would do that. You know, if that's like a lot of guys, especially that age in college, like it's crazy that they would even do that. So I think that's a wrong move on her part. But I think once she has the baby and she sees that, I think she'll sees him with the kid. I think it'll be different.
Hopefully.
That's a big transition. Anytime, they always say once you have a baby, the world changes. So we'll see what happens.
Yes, and I'm sure she'll still be in the picture when she gives the baby back to Silver. And going back to Dixon, his ex Adriana, is at it again with Silver, and they're fighting over a guy once again. And we all know last time they fought over a guy, it ended up with Silver almost dying and Adriana pulling the lowest of lows, switching up her medication and doing everything she could to get back at Silver. And we thought it was about to happen again because when they left us off past a few weeks ago, when the show kind of left us on a cliffhanger, Silver confessed to Adriana that although Mark, Naomi and Annie's stepbrother, or yeah, I guess Naomi and Annie's stepbrother, Mark was off limits because they both liked him. Silver went for it. And she was, I guess, tried to be a good person, went to Adriana and said, hey, I slept with him. I'm sorry. I just want to let you know, and I hope things are good. And Adriana was like, no, we're good. We're good. And then when she leaves, Adriana has the crazy face.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does the crazy eyes.
Why do girls do that?
So, yeah, Adriana, I guess she wanted to get back at Silver. Silver broke up with Mark. She couldn't handle Adriana being mad at her. So Mark did what Mark does, and he went for Adriana to see if Adriana would go for him. And she didn't. She said, that's my friend. So she still had Silver's back. But at the end of the day, she went to Silver, said they're not friends anymore because she grew up and Silver didn't. So what do you guys think? Do you think that if you were in a situation with your friend and you guys said, that girl's hands off?
It's for the most part, like for me, I know I've had that happen too before. Like you're both interested in the same girl, not with JC, with somebody else. But but yeah, if it's I guess it's the cool thing to do. But at the same time, like I wouldn't say like. I would be like, hey, you go, you go for it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a hard thing to do, especially like with these circumstances. But I think it's very cool that she did grow up and actually say no, because especially in the show, that's not something that usually would happen.
Never, especially with Adriana.
Yeah.
It gets catty.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, no, my take on it basically is when things of like this in the love sense with your friends, if you told a person you love them, then they're off limits. If it's if you're casually dating, anything like that, then it's the friendship is stronger than someone that you have a somewhat of an interest in. But
Bros before.
Kind of, sort of, yeah, basically. But once you say I love this person, they're forever off my books.
Yeah,
and vice versa.
I like that one because I know a lot of fans were kind of confused because Adriana never even dated Mark, and she didn't even think of him in any way. Well, she kind of thought he was cute, and then Silver and him they meshed well together, and then she was like, oh, well, I know you like him, and Silver was like, no, I don't like him, and oh, maybe I do. So I don't know. As girls being strong and good friends, I wasn't happy with that story.
I don't think that's the last we're going to see of that, though.
I don't know. I mean, she straight up said, I'm not friends with you anymore. I don't know how strong that word was.
Yeah.
All right. And speaking of friends and words, Naomi is throwing this gigantic party for Jordan, played by Robbie Jones, who's guest starring, and he was on CW's Hellcats, which I'm still sad is gone.
Was that the which one? Was that the gymnastics one?
Cheerleader
one.
College cheerleaders.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a good show.
With the lead, the blonde.
Ali,
Milchaka.
Spring Breakers.
AJ.
Allison Milchaka.
Allison Milchaka.
From Ali and AJ?
Yep, that's her.
I'm a super fan of that family.
Seriously.
Great genes.
Right.
Wonderful.
Seriously. Yeah, so Naomi throws this big party for Jordan, and she starts falling for Jordan as he's trying to tell trying to tell Naomi, I want this party, yada yada. But Naomi just, is trying to get over her divorce, big divorce. She thought she had found the man of her dreams with Max, and it didn't work out. So I think she was smart in being cautious, but I don't know. I think she went back to her old Naomi ways when she found out the party was for the book and for launching of the book, which the book we know was Annie's book,
Right.
called Undressed, and was written by author X. So they did this whole party, and the whole point was just a book launch. But then Naomi, being Naomi, wanted to expose the author. So she did whatever she could to find out who the author was, had eyes everywhere, so she could impress Jordan. But he didn't need impressing.
Okay,
Just Naomi going back to her old roots of being conniving and just.
Does this? I don't know if it's. Forgive me for jumping into a different show. It reminds me slightly of, let's say, Gossip Girl per se.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing as I was watching this episode. The book and who wrote it, and all the dirty secrets are gonna come out now, and what are the friends gonna think? I thought it was very similar to Gossip Girl.
So now you were saying Naomi. Would she be similar to Chuck?
Naomi, more. I want to say Chuck and Blair, maybe.
So a combo of the two.
Okay. Yeah. She's has the girl side, but she's still.
All right. No.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we do have a fan question actually from the forums and whatnot.
Okay.
And it said, why do the writers insist on making their characters appear to have no souls?
Man, I totally agree on that question, and it's so sad. These young people are, you want to kind of relate to them, but you can't. You can never relate to them, and they are kind of heartless, and they'll do anything, stab each other's backs, and I don't know. Maybe the writers just want to make it more juicy,
as crazy as possible.
Yeah, it's crazy. 90210. Maybe anything's believable.
Right, because you can definitely see yourself in like some of the characters, this and that, but not fully. Like you can't be like, oh, that's me, because I wouldn't do that.
You would never do that to your friend. You would never switch up someone's bipolar pills and have them go crazy. Okay, that's just insane. Who does that? 90210. Exactly. And Naomi screwed it up again with Jordan, as she does with most guys that she likes, and she thought that author X was Jordan's sister, and when we didn't know it was Jordan's sister, and she was played by I can't remember, Keke Palmer. She was a guest star. She was a guest star as Jordan's sister, and Naomi went crazy on her and said, just confess you're a whore and just be empowered by it. And and then she was like, it wasn't me. And Annie's standing there like, no, Naomi, don't do it, don't say it, because Annie didn't know. Only Silver knew.
Right, yeah, because there were only 3 people, right?
Yeah, and Silver actually, she didn't know she was the author until much later, until this episode. Right, but she knew about Annie's story, and Liam actually knows about Annie's story. And then we go into Liam, who he finds out that he's Leo in the book by going up there to read it as a celebrity reader of the story. And he's reading, he's like, wait a minute, this is what happened with us. And the saddest part for me was that at the end, we know that Annie wrote the book to finish it, of how she wants to finish with Liam, because she's so in love with him still, and he has no idea. But he was so upset that she put all of their everything into the book that he even said, I don't even need to finish reading this book to know how the story ends.
I see some foreshadowing, though. I think that's 2 more episodes.
Yeah, a couple more episodes.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Can you see it already tying together?
Yeah, I mean, me and I want to, shout out to Nicolette, but her and I have been saying from the beginning that we want Annie and Liam to end up together, and I feel like this just ruined everything. I don't know if it's...
There's no coming back?
I don't know. I mean, Liam, poor thing, has been screwed over so many times, and even in this episode with Campbell's stepmom, Sydney, they had a thing. He thought it was going somewhere, possibly, but it ends up that she was just using Liam to get info on Campbell so she can show Campbell's dad that he's not a good student or a good person to get his trust fund. So once again, Liam is being used and abused by a woman. If you guys were a guy, okay, if you guys were a guy, huh?
Oh, now we're actors. Now
you guys are actors. Pretend you're a male, and you've dated all these psycho females, literally psycho, try to kill you, put you in a box, ship you to Mexico. Would you, like the next girl, if someone did something slightly bad, would you just go crazy and just let it all
It's
go?
hard, especially when you treated that in the past. Like, I've had relationship problems going far back just because, like, if one girl messes you up, you're messed up for a while. Maybe in any relationship, vice versa, girls or guys. So, like, I can see why if you see like a little bit of that, you're gonna run for the hills before it gets too bad. But I think with Annie, right? Annie,
yeah,
right?
Annie.
I think I don't know. I think she's worth sticking around for, and I think he's gonna see that because he's eventually gonna finish the book or hear about it or whatnot. Especially now that he knows it was him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think once he sees that, they're gonna have it's gonna be a moment.
I hope so.
That's the only thing that can bring him back. Otherwise, it's done for
It's gotta go that way. I totally agree with you. That's the way the show is written. You guys have been fans for now. What was it? The 5th season now? Fifth season. No, it has to end that way. What other possible scenario could there without it not being a happy ending? Because she's your central character,
right?
So they want to give the fans that reward for watching all those seasons. Of course, you're going to want that. Or else, what other scenario do you see?
I don't
for
see
a possible
anything
happy
else,
scenario.
Unless I think only other way I see Annie finishing the series is just alone and going back to Kansas.
You think she's gonna go back to like being a call girl?
I don't know. No, I don't think she'll. But one of her main concerns about being outed was her brother will find out how she paid for his rehab. So I think that's going to be a huge storyline that's going to come up in the next few episodes. And now pretty much everybody knows that she's the author because she finally fessed up to it to Naomi, who, by the way, Jordan ended up coming to her house and saying, I really like you too, and it's fine what happened with my sister. But the only reason I didn't want to tell you that I liked you is because once you find out about my family, I don't think you're going to want to date me. So what in the world could this book publishing company employee, worker, owner, whatever he is, have to hide?
And that's called a tease for the finale.
Yeah, I mean, really keeping us around. Yeah, that's pretty much the gist of the episode this week. They threw a lot into it. I mean, they've been gone for a while, and they came back with a bang and threw everything into it. And the episode, I loved how it ended, where Patrick, Annie's, I guess, main, what is it called, a John? Main John. Pimp, yeah, I guess, came to her
John
door.
is a bathroom.
I'm sorry, I don't know the terminology here, okay? You guys should be happy I don't know the terminology.
Yeah.
But Patrick came to the door with the book and said, Annie, we need to talk. So obviously he's heard, he read the story, and knows it's about him.
How do you think he would have more things to worry about?
Right?
Slightly.
Yeah, so that was the episode.
9021 hose.
Whoa!
Wow, really?
Whoa!
Too soon? Is it too soon?
A little, yeah.
Yeah, too
Oh.
soon.
Yeah, wait a
I take it back.
So insensitive. Mark.
Wow. Okay. So thanks. Yeah. If you guys are watching, also I want to give a shout out to Kimberly Mayfield who's watching. Thanks for being a fan of 90210 and of our after show.
Thank you.
Okay, definitely.
I hope I
Kimberly.
did this episode proud. Yeah. What'd you guys think of the episode?
Brilliant.
I loved it just because we got to say whore so many times without getting in trouble. I just did. Sorry.
One of
We're actually in
those.
trouble now.
We should write those down.
No, I just, I've been a huge fan of the whole franchise, and I watch it on soap.net, the old 90210.
It's on that?
Taking it old school.
Yeah, so I've loved the transition. What this new generation of 90210 has done with it, and just how they've upped the ante. They just upped it even more. The old one was a little more. It was a little cheesier.
A little mild, right?
Right.
Compared to this.
It was a little hunky dory.
Yeah.
So take away the cheesiness. Do you think there's more drama in this season? in these seasons rather than back in the day? Because
Yes.
it felt drama filled back in the day, but I guess now times have changed and there's more to do.
Well, yes, because I think the original laid the groundwork, and from there you can only add on top of that to what's going on today. It's kind of like stuff gets dated. You know, back then, oh wow, is Brenda and Dylan? Oh my God, oh, is he gonna shave his sideburn? You know, that was like that was the big drama there. But now they've taken it up so many notches.
Absolutely.
I mean,
They're so ruthless.
Yes.
And like the fan was saying, they're heartless and soulless, and it's scary what they're capable of, and that's why we keep tuning in. And I'm personally so sad to see it go. I've invested so much time into this show, never missed an episode, and I would love to see where they take all their characters.
Right, yeah, because they've already taken it this far.
yeah,
You never would think that Annie would do something like this.
Absolutely. And with that, with Annie, let's get into news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Do we have some news and gossip?
Do we have some news? I
Yeah.
heard a little
All right.
story, Mr. Mark.
Yeah, so check this out. What's her name is
Shanae Grimes.
Shanae Grimes. So the show started in 2008. Right, and there used to be this hot club called Ledoux out here in Hollywood, and I was
More like Ledon't.
Ledon't, yeah, that's what she said. No, literally, I'll tell you the story. So I'm like a young buck going out there, you know,
Young buck, all right.
So I'm at the club, right, and I see her, and the show just started. I'm like, man, this girl looks so familiar. Who is she? And then I'm like, and then it dawns on me, like, oh, that's Shanae. Or Annie, as I probably knew her. She's lining up by the bar. I think it was 2008. How old is she? Do you know how old she is in real life?
She's like
He's making sure she was
23,
legal at the
24.
time.
Yeah, so it makes
She's like
yeah.
23, 24.
Yes. Yeah, she wasn't her age that she's on the actual show. She was older. So she's at the bar, right? And as a guy, you know, we come up with pickup lines or whatever is on your head, whether it's just hi, whether it's like I've used like, hey, like what's wrong with you? And they're like, what? And like, you can't be that beautiful and not have something wrong with you. That's a good one. I should have used.
That is a good.
I should have used that one. So what I did, don't take note. Stop now because this is bad. So she's lined up at the bar, right? And I'm walking up, and I'm usually I don't think of anything. Not that I do this often, but I walk up behind her, and the first thing that comes out of my mouth is the line for the free shots.
Really?
That's what came out of my mouth, and then
Really?
usually I could come up with something and then roll with the punches. And she was and she just I think she looked at me and goes, I don't know, and then just turned and I was like, okay, I guess. And I just kind of walked away like I'll go find.
Fail.
I'm like, what? I had this big opportunity, man. She's beautiful, and
I'm happily disappointed on you, buddy.
yeah. What would you have said? What do you do? Would you
Hi,
like, hey,
my
hi?
name. I don't use lines.
Hi, you're pretty. Like anything.
Yeah, I
You would
know.
say it like that, really? Hi, you're pretty.
Yeah,
Kind of
that's-
creepy, Violet. I don't.
Hey, I've used it and it's worked.
Well, yeah. Well, looking like Violet, I think it would work. Okay, there we go. But
Yeah.
I would just say, how about my name? You know,
Yeah.
I just don't use lines. I'm sorry, but then again, my name is Juan Carlos.
Hey,
I'm just saying that.
see.
But yeah, just
I
start with your name.
I think well, yeah, that works too. But I think it's if you're, a little more creative, it goes a long way. As long as it's not like that. That wasn't being creative. That was just
Next
being
time,
an
Mark,
idiot.
go with, hey, I'm Juan Carlos.
Yeah.
See how that works.
I was gonna just say have our AfterBuzzers send some suggestions on Mark's like opening lines for the next time he meets up with
Hey.
Shanae Grimes.
I need that.
There you go.
Yep.
I need
Se-
that.
He doesn't really need it, but come on.
Is this the free shot line? Is this the line
That
for
is
the
just
free
that's-
shots?
I think that's the worst thing I've ever heard. And with that being said, let's get into some predictions.
And now,
That's some good gossip, buddy.
That was good. I
I
like
predict that she'll never call me again.
No, probably right.
So there's only 4 more episodes. I'm seriously dreading the day the show. Yes, it's so sad. But a lot of things are gonna be out in the open now, and a lot of questions we've had are gonna be answered. So what is the one question you guys want answered? Because I know for me is the baby, or is what's gonna happen when Michaela has the baby and Silver finally becomes a mom.
Is it for sure his?
We don't. It's a donor.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's like the surrogate mother.
Gotcha.
Because, Silver couldn't have a baby, and then
Right. Yeah.
all
yeah.
these things happened.
I think the number one question is what we were just talking about. Is he gonna take Annie back.
Yeah.
And I think he will.
You are a romantic, my friend.
So,
wow. You know, because in a weird way, I hate when I agree with you too. But yeah, I want her happily ever after.
They need it.
That's all I
I
want.
Like it's like in
that.
Friends, like Rachel and Ross got together.
Yeah.
Which, on a super duper side note, they're bringing back for another season.
Friends?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. That's a whole different story, though.
Wow,
gonna
we're
do
gonna
an
have to
after show
start
for
the
that.
after show,
Yeah.
Marissa, on that.
What?
Yep.
So isn't like Ross like 65? That was
Right?
just
A whole
weird.
season, not even a special.
Really?
Wow.
Whole season back, yeah.
Oh, wow, that's news to me.
Yeah.
So-
So once 90210 is over, we can switch over to Friends. Hey.
But here we go.
Yeah.
Well, what's your prediction? You're the 90210 guru.
Yeah, well, my prediction, I think unfortunately Annie's gonna end up lonely.
Aww. Why?
Breaks my heart to say. She's screwed a lot of people over. Well, that's it for our 90210 after show. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you're not watching live, then go to our iTunes, rate us 5 stars, do all that fun stuff, download, comment, all that fun stuff. And guys, where can they find you?
You can find me at Mark E. Allen or giving bad pickup lines to girls all around Hollywood.
At Ladue.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at JCRubioTV.
Okay.
And as always, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Violet Kanyan. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
Of course,
so much.
thanks for coming.
Good
We
night.
love you, 90210 Nation.
Woo! Where's
From
Dylan?
Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff. We would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.